Welcome back to the 21 Day Sugar Detox. Today is day 23 or 2 days post-detox. All right, so by now you are reintroducing some foods, and this is the time to take inventory of how you're feeling in response to those foods. Remember, when you reintroduce a food, it's not just a couple of bites. I want you to really have a good portion of it at least once in the day, if not a couple of times, because this is how you're truly going to know how those foods impact you. Now that you've reintroduced at least one food, how are you feeling? Are you noticing anything different? Are you noticing that your energy has either gotten worse perhaps, or maybe it's gotten better? Maybe you notice your skin is breaking out, or maybe you notice your digestion's a little bit off. So here's an example. I can eat goat dairy and sheep dairy without a problem. But I learned this after going through the 21 Day Sugar Detox that reintroducing cow dairy really doesn't work for me. It makes me break out pretty badly, also gives me a lot of digestive upset. Nice to meet you. Is that TMI? This is one of those programs where you really do need to get to know all of the details of what's going on in your body. And all those details are really important because you are going to then make an educated decision for yourself on whether or not you're going to continue to eat things like cow dairy if it doesn't agree with you. So it doesn't mean that, come holiday time that you might not have a bite of that cheesecake or something to that effect, but at least now you know how that food impacts you and you get to make an educated decision about it. And that is really at the core of what we're trying to do with the 21 Day Sugar Detox. One thing that I really want to stress regarding reintroducing foods is paying attention to your digestion and your blood sugar regulation. So this is particularly true when you start to reintroduce foods that are higher in carbs. So maybe you are grabbing, some fresh mango or pineapple. And look, fruit is a totally healthy food. I have nothing against fruit, even though it's not included, most of it, on the 21 Day Sugar Detox. But here's why I want you to pay careful attention. If you sit down to a bowl of pineapple or mango, for example, what happens to your energy? Do you feel really differently as a result? Do you feel more sluggish? Does your digestive system feel a little bit upset? Or do you feel fine? All of that information is super helpful to have so that, again, you can make an educated decision about which fruits are best for you. So remember, now is also a great time to re-examine your carb intake. You may have been eating a good amount of carbs on the 21 Day Sugar Detox. If you're an active person, if you're pregnant or breastfeeding, if you just have found that building your plate with more carbs that are approved on the program keeps those cravings away, that's totally fine. Don't forget that eating real whole nutrient-dense carbs is totally fine. This is not about shunning all carbs for forever. This is not about getting you to demonize different foods. It's really about tuning in to how you feel when you eat them. Now, if you haven't taken a moment to reintroduce any foods, that's okay. You can still do that throughout the course of the rest of this week. Just remember that the best time to start reintroducing certain foods is pretty much right after you finish, because that's when you're coming out of the program with a clean slate. You're really going to get an idea of how these foods feel for you. Whereas if you don't start that process until a week later and you've already started sort of adding things back in, you're eating more fruit, you're eating more other types of carbs, maybe you're eating some other dark chocolate that's not 100% dark, it doesn't give you that same baseline to test on. So remember, go ahead and do some reintroductions now so you can really see what affects you, and you'll have that lesson to use moving forward. All right, you guys, that's it for day 23, couple of days post-detox. I'll see you tomorrow.